I'm not embarrassed at all. If anything, I'm super proud of the efforts that I put into my running. In fact,
yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be.
Hi everybody and welcome to today's video. Now if you've been following my channel, you may know that I ran a marathon just about a month ago now. Now I ran that in 4 hours and 5 minutes and about 45 seconds. Now that was my first ever marathon. This time around, got about 20 weeks before my next marathon. I'm gonna try to break that. I'm actually gonna try to crush that time because I feel like I have a whole lot more in me, a whole lot more to give. So this time around, probably gonna be training for about a 3:50 marathon. Now what does that mean? So for a lot of my training, my targets, when I'm actually trying to run at marathon pace, are going to be pacing at about a 3-hour 50-minute marathon to a 3-hour 45-minute marathon to give myself some leeway. Today is kind of the first run out, or real hard run, hard for me, because I am going to try to make that pace for about 8 kilometers, and that works out to anywhere between 5 minutes and 20 seconds per kilometer for the low end of that, for the fast end of that, all the way up to 5 minutes and 27 seconds per kilometer if I'm just gonna break 3 hours and 50 minutes. We're gonna do that, try to do that for about 8 kilometers. Got a little bit of a busy day because after this I do have to get to work at the gym. After that, I'm gonna go home and I've got a run walk that I have to do with my daughter who's training for her first ever 5K. By the way, I'll put a link to her video up top here. We just started training for that last week. I'm super excited about that. Anyways, let's get this warm up and then this 8K out of the way before work. All right, let's go. As usual, I immediately push too hard and about 30 seconds a K too fast. Okay, so I think it's about 5:08 for that first kilometer. A little quick. I'm gonna try slow it down just a little bit. Again, breathing way too heavy for this kind of pace. Okay, so rather than slow down, like I said I would, I actually sped up that last kilometer. Gotta slow down. Okay, got about 2 hard kilometers left. Gonna have to slow down. I'm burning out. 100 kilometer. Let's go. Okay, now we're getting to the end of the hard part. And, ooh, oh, I need to walk for a second. That was the tough 8K, 8.2K. I'm gonna explain what happened there. Let's get in some quieter space where breathing gets a little bit better. All right, so it's just cool. I will say, in my cool down, I'm a lot more willing to go slow than I am in my warm up. Anyways, probably gonna talk about this run later on in the day, because I have to get to work, and then I have to go on a run walk, 20-minute run with my daughter. Also, when I'm at work, at the gym, probably gonna do a push workout. Anyways, I'll see you back at that.
Hi everybody and welcome back to my office. And yes, that was a pretty good effort. I felt like I did pretty good on that run relative to where I'm at right now. I want to talk about that run, and there were a couple of reasons why I thought I should actually point out this run in particular. One is that when I went through my first marathon prep, by the way, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please consider subscribing. Head on over to my channel and check out that first marathon prep. I just finished that. I completed that marathon. I feel like it was a complete success, and I shared with you some of the experiences going through that, but I wasn't talking so much about specific training that I was doing. Did a couple of videos about the Hal Higdon program that I did, but not about specific runs. So I'm sharing with you this run, and the other reason why I wanted to share with you this run is that I got a message just a little bit over a week ago from somebody, and they were asking me if I was a little bit intimidated or maybe even a little bit embarrassed by my paces relative to other YouTube running creators out there, and quite frankly, not at all. Now, there may have been a point, and I even talked about it in a couple of videos, where I was a little bit embarrassed on Strava because I was always comparing myself to other people. But that's one of the things I found about the running community that is so awesome, and it's very similar to what I honestly found when I started in the gym, was that I realized once I got there, most people were pretty excited to see me and pretty willing to help and be supportive. And the ones that were not supportive, both in the gym or in the running community, were the ones that were all about themselves, and you don't have time for them anyway. So I'm not embarrassed at all. If anything, I'm super proud of the efforts that I put into my running. In fact, if you want to look in the link below, I'll link to my Strava. Come join me on that journey as well. But let's get into talking just for a second about this run. Now, what was kind of funny about this run was, as I said during the first of the video, is my last marathon, 4:05:49, something like that, exactly like that. That was the time that my chip time that I came in at. And I'm aiming for 3:50 or under 3:50 during this marathon. And that run I did today, if you add the warm up and you add the cool down, I came in at 5 minutes and 24 seconds per kilometer. I'll put the miles up here on the screen. And so it was right in the ballpark of where I need to be to set my pace for that marathon. And if you can see, my heart rate through those higher kilometers was really high, 175. I think my max heart rate that I've seen is 189, so I was really up there, much higher than I was when I ran my first marathon. Now, a couple of different reasons. Haven't been feeling 100%, can't blame that. Didn't get a whole lot of sleep, can't really blame that. But it was a very, very hard effort. So it's going to take some time for me to feel more comfortable at those paces. Now, the other thing I will say about that particular run was that I kind of pushed my paces a little bit too hard. And you heard me saying during the early parts of that run was that I was 20, 30 seconds above the pace that I was targeting. I find that even though I know that it's best not to bank time, and I did pretty good in my first marathon to not bank time, to actually just go out at a pace that I was comfortable with, I still do it. I still do it on a lot of my runs. Even my easy pace runs, I find that I start out faster than I should. All sorts of stuff to unpack there. So that's not really for this video, but I just wanted to bring that out there. Now, the other thing I did want to mention was, yes, I did have a couple more things that I did today, because obviously it's not all about running, and I do want to share with you more in the future about some of the other things that I do outside of running, because I still do have that love for the gym. So I kind of consider myself to be a little bit of a hybrid athlete. I hadn't shared so much of that when I was doing my first marathon prep, because I kind of felt, in a way, a lot of the weightlifting that I was doing in the gym wasn't runner specific. Now, I did do some core stuff and some leg work, but I like the traditional push-pull legs sort of style of weightlifting. So I did a lot of that, and I'll probably continue to do that, because ultimately some of it has to be about fun, and that's not just running, that's also lifting weights in the gym, because that's what I like to do. So I did go do a push workout after I was at work today at the gym, so I did that run, then that push workout. Then later on in the day, I actually did a run walk, ended up being a little bit over almost 3 kilometers with my daughter, who's training for her first ever 5K. Super excited about that. We're also going to be sharing a lot about that on this channel. So much coming up over the next few months. I'm super excited. If you did like this video and you haven't subscribed to my channel, please consider subscribing, hitting that like button on this video. My name is Matt. This is What Matters to Matt, and ultimately, what matters to me most is my family. I'll see you in the next one.